You co-founded the Chesterton Academy because you saw something missing in the modern education. What was it?
Well,
What really touched you?
yeah, yeah. I think Chester has this great line about the public schools. He says, the one thing that is never taught in any of the public schools is this, that there's a whole truth of things, and that in knowing it and speaking it, we are happy. There's a
Mhm.
whole truth of things, and knowing it and speaking it makes us happy. So if we take that backwards, the first thing we notice in our schools today, widespread depression. The kids are sad. They are not happy, and that depression comes out in the worst possible ways, and the abuse of drugs and suicide and just really horrible mental relationships that people have. So we
Yeah.
know that's a problem, right? Well, Chesterton says not only knowing the truth makes us happy, but being able to express the truth, um, being able to say what it is. So we, in our Chesterton academies, we try to teach the whole truth, which is certainly the truth of God and the truth of Jesus Christ, but it's also philosophical truths that are timeless. So we study ancient philosophy is still quite true. We study great literature, which reveals these truths. That's why these works of literature last from one generation to the other. Chesterton says we study the Iliad because all of life is a battle. We study the Odyssey because all of life is a journey. That's why these great works of literature still ring true. So knowing the truth, but then being able to express it. So we also emphasize the arts, and this is a very integral part of our education. In most schools today, if a student has any interest in art, it's just simply an elective, or
Mhm.
or they just kind of push them off into the arts programs. But we insist, yeah, they still have to study science and math and
Yeah.
develop that part of their brain, but we take the arts and make them equally important to the sciences and to math, because the classical principles are truth, goodness, and beauty. And the great Russian writer Dostoevsky says, beauty will save the world. And he
Mhm.
says, Chester says, the modern world is ugly because people do not love the modern world. If
Yeah.
we loved the world, we'd strive to make it more beautiful, and our art would be more beautiful. So our
Mhm.
students, they study, they learn how to draw and paint, and they study art, studio art for 4 years, and
Oh, wow.
they create beautiful masterpieces. They're copying oil masterpieces by the end of their senior year, and
Mhm.
then they also study music, so they all sing in a choir for 4 years, and they just develop their most beautiful musical instrument that God has given to us, our voices, and then they do theater as well, and theater is a requirement, and
Mhm.
it's really about making the word into flesh. And that's what happens with the stage. Kids have self confidence, and
Yeah.
they become more articulate, and they can express themselves. So
I can definitely relate to the music, like an artist who looks at his art or looks at a work of art.